Hi, and welcome to a very different setup. Well, I mean, I have my same background, but now you can actually see a table. I have my unicorn mug here, and today I'm going to separate my entire tarot and oracle collection into three piles, and I'll talk you through why I'm doing this, how I'm doing all of this. So recently I felt like I have too many decks because there are a couple of decks that I'm not using. There are a couple of decks that I'm not using because I'm trying to use other things, but I want to use those certain decks more. So I'm going to separate my entire collection into three piles. The first pile is hard stay. So this is non-negotiable. I love this deck, or all the decks in this pile I love. I want to keep because I have a connection with it and I want to keep working with it. Then the middle pile will be soft stay. So they're like, okay, I want them to be in my collection, but I definitely need to spend a little bit more time getting familiar with them, and they can potentially go into the third pile of chopping block. So the chopping block is going to have like two sections. One section where I know that I'm gonna declutter it and I'm gonna actually put it on Vinted right after filming this video, but also some that I want to do separate videos on in 2022, where I have a certain deck on the chopping block, which is inspired by the beauty community, where they have a certain makeup item on the chopping block to see whether or not it needs to stay in their collection. And this is something similar that I've seen Katie Flowers do, and I would love to do something like that as well. So let's get started with, I'm gonna start with Oracle decks because I have all of them out here. I have some hard stay, soft stay, chopping block. So first up, I have my Sacred Self-Care Oracle. I use this all the time. I use this in pretty much every reading that I do for other people, and I love to use it for personal readings as well. So this is going to be a hard stay. Next, I have the Mindful and Miljonair, or it's actually a Dutch deck, Mindful and Miljonair. And this is going to be going to get into the chopping block section because I don't use this deck. I think it has potential. It has to prove itself a lot harder than any of the decks that I'm going to put in my soft stay category. So that is the Mindful Millionaire. Then next I have my Dark Mirror Oracle. I think this is a really cool deck, but I don't use it enough and I really need to get myself more familiar with it. So it's going to be in the soft stay category. Same goes for my Green Witch Oracle. I think this is absolutely stunning. This is 100% my aesthetic. I love vegetables, I love fruits. This also has flowers and herbs in here, I believe, and I need to make myself more familiar with it, so it's gonna be in my soft stay pile. Then I don't know why I still have this. I think I've said at least 2, maybe even 3 times before on this channel that I want to declutter my Moonology Oracle deck. So it's gonna get into the pile where I'm gonna put it behind my unicorn, that I'm gonna put to sell on Vinted right after filming this. Next, I have my Pure Magic Oracle deck. This is also gonna be a soft stay. I do use it, and I have used it a couple of times over the last month, but I definitely need to get myself more familiar with this. So right now, this pile is more of a, like it is a soft stay pile, but it's more like these I need to study more before I use them. Next, I have my Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle deck. I use this one all the time. I love it so much, and this is definitely, I'm gonna put it below this one because of the size, but it's definitely a hard stay. As is my Burberry Zodiac Oracle. Absolutely love this. I use this all the time. Hard stay. Next, I have my Legendary Ladies Goddess deck, and I think this is an awesome deck. I think it's really cool, but I'm gonna put it on the chopping block because I don't use it enough. And I need to get myself more familiar with it to know if I want to keep this. So there are definitely videos coming on these decks to see how to use them, how I use them, and whether or not they will end up staying in my collection. And the same goes with the Daily Crystal Inspiration. This is one that I heavily used at the start of the year, but I haven't even wanted to grab this for the last few months. So it's gonna also go on the chopping block. Next, I have my Moonology Manifestation Oracle deck. I am deciding between soft stay and hard stay because I know for a fact that it's gonna stay in my collection, but I'm also still working with it. I think it's gonna go in a hard stay because I am actively working on this deck and we're working with this deck in my Book of Shadows for my new moon and full moon rituals, if you will. Are those all my oracle decks? I think so. Ooh, wow, I am wearing a red lipstick and you can definitely tell. Okay, let's get into tarot. Actually, I have one Lenormand deck, and this is also a hard stay because I still have to learn this, so it's gonna go there. Next, I'm gonna go into my tarot decks, and there are a couple of decks that you haven't seen yet. I'm first gonna completely expose myself because I had the White Sage Tarot, and I was supposed to actually declutter this, but I haven't yet. So I'm gonna put this in the chopping block because I want to do a video on it, because I haven't really bonded with it, but it's definitely my aesthetic. So I'm gonna do a separate video on that one. Next is the Tattoo Tarot. I absolutely love this. This is 100% my aesthetic. I think it's gorgeous and I love using it in readings, and I definitely need to use it more. Next is, this is a Dutch deck. It's created by a Dutch magazine, Happinez. And this is the Happinez Tarot deck. This is really interesting, and I definitely, this is a hard stay. This is a hard stay. It also recently came into my collection, so I definitely don't plan on decluttering it soon. Another hard stay is my Light Years Tarot deck. I recently, well, not necessarily recently gotten this, but it's semi-new to my collection, I guess. And I've been using it a lot for readings for other people. A soft stay deck is the Tarot Renard, and I recently did a video on this, but I don't know, I was hoping to bond with it a little bit more, but I definitely am willing to work on it and work with it to see if I can create that bond with the deck, because I do think it's absolutely gorgeous. A hard stay is my Anna K Tarot deck. I don't have boxes for most of the other decks that are coming, so I'm just going to show you the back. The Anna K Tarot, I love to use this. I use this mostly in personal readings, but I love to use this. I use this for all of the zodiac readings, I believe, for the December video, so that one's going to go in hard stay. Another hard stay is my Afro Avatar Tarot. I keep it in a bag in its original box, created by coloredafros.com. Absolutely gorgeous. I love this deck. I love Avatar, and I've been wanting this deck for so long, and I finally got it, and it's never leaving my collection ever. Let's just keep going with the hard stays. This is my Dreaming Way Tarot. It's funny because I feel like this bag really matches the aesthetic of the deck, just not the backs of the deck, because the aesthetic of the deck is white and light, and the back of the deck is disgusting and green. Anyway, I love this deck. I use this for personal readings mostly, but also I do feature it on my channel quite a bit. This stack is getting pretty large. I am happy to see that most of my decks so far fall in the hard stay category, because I do use them a lot. Let's see. Okay, this one is gonna go on the chopping block. This is, and I haven't even shown it on my channel or anything, but this is the Pagan Tarot. I thought I would bond with this deck a lot more than I'm actually bonding with it. I don't know if it's my aesthetic, and I keep saying that certain decks are my aesthetic, but that is sort of how I like to bond with the deck as well. But then again, the Anna K Tarot isn't really necessarily my aesthetic, but I do love it, and I did bond with it pretty much immediately. So yeah, I don't know what it is with the Pagan Tarot. We're gonna find out in a chopping block video. So that is gonna go here. Then I have, this is my White Newman Tarot, and now we're gonna get into the decks that I think I have a little less of a firm opinion on. So these are gonna get a little harder to do. But this is my White Newman, and this is very much my aesthetic. What did I recently use this for? I used it for the spread video, and this is absolutely gorgeous. I definitely want to get to know this deck better. So it's gonna get gonna go into the soft stay category. Then I have my Mermaid Tarot, and there was a little bit of a time where I thought this would be like my soul deck, and it is really pretty, and the backs are really pretty, but I don't know. I haven't really been using this deck. I think this is gonna go into my soft stay. I definitely want to get to know this deck a little better, but it's not like chopping block material or anything. And I think the same goes to my Everyday Witch Tarot. I think this is really cool, and I recently used it for a zodiac video, I believe. Or does it need to go into hard stay? Don't mind me, I'm just looking through the images right now. I think it can go into hard stay. I think it can. Wow, I really thought I would prefer the Mermaid Tarot over the Everyday Witch, but I think it's the other way around. Another one, yeah, this is the original Rider-Waite-Smith, and this is also gonna go on the chopping block because I don't use it. I only bought this deck because I felt like I needed to have the original artwork, because everybody always tells beginner readers or any reader, any tarot reader, that they need to have this deck in their collection. And I'm here to tell you that you don't. Not if you don't want to. So let me first take a sip of tea. Let's put it there. Okay. The Muse Tarot. This is definitely one that I want to do more of a deck study on. I'm also thinking of doing like deck study videos. So definitely let me know in the comments down below if that is something you would like to see. But yeah, the Muse Tarot is going to be a soft stay because I want to do more of a deck study on it. Look at me. This is fine. Oh, okay. When you sort of forget that you have a certain deck, it is not a good sign. This is the Dark Wood Tarot. I'm pretty sure this is gonna leave my collection, but I want to do a chopping block video on it because I think it will be helpful. I wanted the Dark Wood Tarot deck because I wanted a deck for like shadow work and stuff, but and I thought shadow work needed a dark deck, but shadow work is just looking more inside and being very reflective and looking, yeah, like I said, looking inside. And you don't need a dark deck for that. I actually have a video up where I share my favorite decks for shadow work. I did feature the Dark Wood just because it is a darker deck, but I actually love my Dreaming Way Tarot for that, as well as the next one. So let me grab my Magical Dogs Tarot deck. This is also a hard stay because I absolutely love this deck. I love dogs. Feel super, like, I don't usually like animal decks. I found that the animal decks that I connect with are ones where there is one certain character throughout the entire deck. Like with the Tarot Renard, we have the fox, and we see the story of the fox. And here it's all dogs, and I love dogs, and I feel like with dogs you can really show emotions. And that is something that I struggle with the White Sage Tarot, because that also has animals in the court cards as well as the major arcana. But there's not a lot of emotions, or not as many emotions in those cards as in my Magical Dogs Tarot. Ooh, next I have my Friends Tarot deck. I love this so much. I actually love doing friendship readings with this deck, which is like super obvious, but I love this deck. I don't use this enough, but this is definitely a hard stay because I want to use this one more. So, a hard stay. Okay, this one is my True Heart Intuitive Tarot, and I thought this was the worst cardstock of any deck ever. And actually my Happiness Tarot trumps that, because this is like thin cardboard. This is just like semi-thick paper. It's insane. And I actually really like the way this shuffles. And I've been trying to learn how to bridge shuffle. I don't have enough space on this table to do that right now. But I think this would be an amazing deck to do that with. Also, I just really connect with these images, and every time that I pull this out for a reading, I feel like I barely even have to look at my notes, because I do like to, I don't make it a secret that I do my tarot readings, first do my intuitive interpretation, and then look at my notes, look at my tarot cheat sheet. I don't keep that a secret because I don't think that makes me a bad tarot reader or anything. But yeah, when I use this deck, I barely even have to look at my notes. I barely even have to look at my tarot cheat sheets. This has to go into like hard stay because it's definitely my aesthetic. I think it's awesome. I hate the backs. I don't even know if I showed you them. You don't need to see them. They're ugly. So that is that. This is my Tarot of the Divine. And I want to love this because it's gorgeous. The colors are gorgeous. They're vibrant. I love the idea behind this deck. It's beautiful. But I rarely use it, and I feel like I don't always get as intuitive hits with this one as I get with other decks. So what I think I'm gonna do, I don't think I'm gonna declutter this, but I'm still gonna put it on the chopping block, just because I really need some serious work with this, and I need to show you all, I need to talk to you all about this because I'm gonna need your opinions on it. I still have a couple of decks. Okay, this is my Mystic Mondays tarot deck. Let me go through the cards. I need to flip through all of these cards to make sure what pile to put them in. At one point, I loved to use this for career readings. I think this would be great for love readings as well, but I think I just don't vibe with it. I think my time with this deck is over. This is what the backs of the cards look like, by the way. Definitely didn't show you that for most of these, so I'm sorry. Yeah, I got this from one of my best friends, or I consider her to be one of my best friends. I think I'm just gonna give this back to her. So it's gonna go into the Declutter. No, it's gonna, I don't know, it's gonna go, yeah, I do know. It's gonna go into the chopping block category. Okay, now I have my good karma. And I talk about this deck a lot, that it's amazing for beginners, and I definitely think it is. I don't use this enough, and I don't know if I don't use this enough because I don't get to it, because I'm trying to use so many other decks, or am I not using this because I don't feel like grabbing it? I honestly have no idea. I have no idea. Because I do feel like when I use this deck, no, I need to keep this. This is a hard stay. I'm looking through it and I'm feeling the vibe, and I need to keep this. Hard stay. I don't know if I'm dare to put anything else on here. Here is my Modern Witch. I love these images, but I have stopped using it because it is so uncomfortable for my hands. The cardstock on this, it's so freaking thick. It's not okay. It's not okay. And that is why I don't use this. If they were to reprint this on cardstock from, I don't know, even like the Muse Tarot, Lightseers Tarot, something like that. Even like the Dreaming Way Tarot, which is just standard US games. I would love it. I would use it more. I would start using it again because the images are absolutely gorgeous. But the cardstock is horrible. Like, it's so stiff, it's so sturdy that I cannot shuffle with it. And if I can't shuffle with it, it's gonna make it harder for me to have pleasure in reading. And if I don't have fun, if I don't have pleasure while reading, I don't think my readings are going to be as accurate. So that is why I stopped using it. It is going to stay though, because it was my first deck. But right now, this is a deck that I'm not using for that reason only. So I'm going to put it back. No, I will put it on the hard stay. Not because I read with it. Okay, yeah, this is the last deck. And this is my Housewives Tarot. And I talked about this deck before, that I wanted to declutter it. It is such a fun, quirky deck. It is so fun. I'm gonna put this in my soft stay because I definitely don't want to get rid of it yet. But I also want to look at it and study it a little bit more. It's like similar to my Muse Tarot, I guess. Ooh, okay, can I make these into like 3 piles? I'm disappearing behind them. Okay. So what is best? Like here? No, it's gonna be better here. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments down below if you would like to, first of all, see like an On the Chopping Block series with all of these decks right here. Not this one, this is a hard stay. Can it fit on top of here? Yeah, you can't even see anymore. Wow, that's wild. Anyway, with all of the decks right here on the chopping block, would you like to see videos with that? I also want to do like deck study videos for, let's see, maybe even like the Moonology Manifestation Oracle, but also with the Muse Tarot, with the Tarot Renard, with Housewives Tarot, and the Oracle decks that I have right here, the Pure Magic, Green Witch, and Dark Mirror. Please let me know in the comments down below if you are interested in seeing something like that. And if you want to book a personal one-on-one tarot reading with me where I will use any of these decks, definitely click the link in the description box below, because I would love to work together with you. And if you want to see more videos on tarot, definitely subscribe to this channel. I would love to have you here. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. I'm waving. Bye!